and I'm going to say it, the only idea you have about is from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, because that's all that was there in 1987. Three, two, one, and
this is Split Screen.
Split Screen.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Don.
And we are recapping Freaky Tales on, what is it, Max?
Yeah, I think it was on HBO Max. I mean, it's just...
Guys, I'm not happy with this one.
Love it.
Well, he's lying. You'll see why his score.
Split Screen.
Unless you change it up on us. You because he's watched it multiple times.
Once this morning as well, just to refresh myself, because it is so utterly forgettable. And there's so much subtext going on.
There's so many things I could get into, but this is about Freaky Tales. I will start off with the idea that I watched this with 3 other friends of mine. One of them fell asleep, then got up, then asked us to go back. He just said he's going to bed. Another one would go to the bathroom or leave periodically and come back and be surprised it was still on. And my last friend was just wondering what is going on and why does any of this matter? And I feel with their powers combined, I am captain. I can't stand this fucking movie. This movie is so shallow. It's so shallow, but I already started crazy.
What did you tell us what it's about, though? You haven't said anything about what it's about. If you need, if Tony here needs some a reminder of what it is, here's the little synopsis, because it's a movie separated into 4 chapters.
Which, please, guys, look, if this is going to be a thing, because of this and weapons and stuff. If this is going to be a thing, we got to get this right, faster, now, because this is going to be...
Well, the thing is, it's already been done right many times.
That too, but this is the new era where things have less care and time, so they're just going to repeat.
It's the new era when people think that they're original.
Mm.
That it's an amazing idea.
Well,
even though it's happened so often. I mean, Kill Bill. It happened in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah. Also, this movie has I'll talk about this more in other things. I think this is important. But as a structural element, I don't like the idea of a movie having a payoff. That you spent your time or your money and you waited for a particular event.
What do you mean a payoff? I mean...
Yeah, that's what people call...
Don't you like seeing Nazis get their heads explode?
Not at what is the runtime on this movie? Not at the cost of 90% of this movie. No,
hour and 44 minutes.
No, so what is it? 7 minutes tops of killing Nazis? Because I don't count the first battle, because the first battle was whatever, really.
So hold on, let's go ahead and say, give a little idea. This is Oakland, 1987. These are little short stories, 4 chapters, about the vibe of Oakland. That's what I heard. And the first one is about a punk rock club, underage, under 21. So no alcohol, no drugs, no racism. And then they're constantly being harassed by a bunch of skinhead Nazis. So they have to deal with that. The second one is a rap battle. And that was it. That's the whole thing. That is literally the whole segment. And the third one is Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pedro, for coming back to us, for giving us a monotone, bland. He is a hired hand thug who's trying to go on the straight, because he's got a wife that's expecting a baby. So he's doing his last job. Is he doing his last job? And the third one is Sleepy Joe. He's at the big game, which actually happened in 1987. I think he got 51 points or something like that, if I remember right. But at the same time, the same Nazi group, only different things. Yeah, their dad is a policeman, but he's also a white supremacist, and he's also he likes to target black people rich black people's homes when they're at the ball game. So they happen to be there because they thought the house would be empty. But Sleepy Joe's mom, who's normally a vegetarian in North Carolina,
On that day, tried
had a hot
dog.
dog
Yeah.
and got a queasy stomach, so she had to go home. So the Nazis shoot her and his girlfriend, and Sleepy Joe takes his revenge using the glow, the glow. And throughout all these 4 little chapters, there's a green glow, a psychic green glow.
Yeah.
Because
Which
it's
happens in the
there.
intro.
Because it's
They tell you
there.
about it.
Yeah, the dumbest text scroll at the beginning about 1987. There was a green mystical glow that was everywhere. No one knew what it was, but I guess some people got superpowers. Some
Kinda, sorta. There's
mostly
no answer to that
mostly only
necessarily.
the diversity group got superpowers.
Well, yes and no, because even the girl in the beginning, she doesn't have powers. Her gauntlet has the glow.
Well, that's diversity though. She used her diversity gauntlet.
That's not diversity. Ugh. A lot of movies that try to put in like some sort of power system or something really do something with it. It ends up being like a very important thing to understand and know about because it's going to interact how each character uses it if they write it well. And this was just like, just in case someone's eyes goes green, which implying that, this fantastic score at this game wasn't because Sleepy was good. He was actually a mutant. So it wasn't his ability. He got superpowers. I mean, the guy murdered.
The glow.
There's the Last Dragon review, guys.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, Last Dragon, much better. It's coming. Great.
We don't sound so better for
Vanity. Oh my God. Time up.
Yeah, that song.
Finally found the place for you and me. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know it, but we've got to focus on this. We do because we chose this.
Elevated.
An accelerator. Then she hits that high note. Guys, it's gonna be fun.
Should we just go into talking about Last Dragon instead? Because
No,
that was much better conversation than this.
no, because people like this too much, and
So we should go. We should go into your 3 points. Let's go into what did you like about it? Give me 3 things you liked about it.
before I go into my 3 points, disclaimer. Guys, we like things. I assure you. You may have seen our last content and thought we were just haters. It's not true.
I guess we haven't released the ones that we like, huh?
Exactly. So I'm sure this will be a part of the bandwagon for whatever reason, but I need to let you guys know. We need to have more nuance about this. You will learn quickly. Don likes a lot of bad quality things.
Oh, I love
because
that.
something is bad does not mean it's not enjoyable.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love bad. This movie should have been bad. This movie they should have gone out of their way to make it a bad. It's a bad movie, but it sucks. There's
Well,
a
it's
huge
because-
difference.
It's because it's a very shallow movie. Like, guys, okay, we want to talk about representation and whatever and all that crap. You don't get points for just throwing it in. Throwing it in is not, representation, and it's not you explore,
They threw it everywhere.
but you really explore it. You really kind of go into it. Has to be some sort of pivotal part of the story and not just a very shallow, the standard that we all know and see every day. I mean, we live more deeper issues of these problems than what this movie would ever portray
Oh
us.
my God.
And so
This
it's
is like
kind
a
of an affront.
13-year-old's idea of the world, huh?
It's like an affront to like the serious issues we go through, and then to kind of like make these guys. I hated this thing. Okay, 3 points, man. Shallow. There you go. That was point 1. I won't go more into it. Point 2. I don't like the idea of we waited this whole time for this final part. It's very much Kill Bill. It's very much Kingsman, which I think Kingsman started that kind of, the movie was like, okay. And then that part where he goes into the church and kills all like the KKK, like whatever, that was huge. People loved it. And that was the payoff. People think in weapons. The woman finally, the witch being ripped apart is the payoff. No, guys, it should be good the whole time. We shouldn't have to wait and fall asleep and then get scared. Not because we're scared is because something happened and the sound and the visuals shocked us.
Hmm.
And chapter 4 is not a good payoff for this movie. Sorry, that was a tangent. But chapter 4 was not
Why?
worth the price of admission for this really shallow derivative mess. And then 3, what? I mean, badly written characters. Like again, if you're going to put them in there, at least write them well.
Oop.
There's sadly for this movie, the most interesting and funniest character is the Nazi racist cop. Why do that? Why do
It
that?
was so over the top. It was beautiful.
Why do that? Why is he carrying kind of this movie? Like, way to put a white person in power in the movie and then make everyone else suck.
When he's in the ice cream shop, the ice cream, gotta get my hole punched. You're like, that's awesome, man.
And then guys, look, it's fun to hate him. He's good to hate, but everyone just being like a nod of like,
He wasn't really in it, right?
no, he wasn't. Without the different parts where they go to talk about the planning, more of the robberies or burglaries later. But like, that's it. Other than that, everyone's tone deaf. I mean, the Asian girl's really higher than other people, kinda. Like, she's like this, like, all the time.
She could not act at all.
And so, like,
She's telling her dream, and if
why?
it was so
Why?
juvenile and poorly delivered. I was like, what is this? Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, if you want like serious stuff that talks about like, I mean, Dear White People was controversial for far deeper writing stuff than this crap. So it's just like, there's better stuff to watch, guys. If you found this enjoyable with its like meh,
I apologize.
meh everything, I recommended this for us to watch.
That's another
And
one he brought to me. I mean,
he likes
out of
horrible stuff.
I love horrible stuff,
This
but
is-
this is not horrible. This is just a bad suck ass movie. That's it.
There's nothing here, guys, and you can go all into allegories and metaphors and like how it relates to stuff in real life, or you can,
But it doesn't. This movie does not.
but they really try.
Oh my
They
God,
really try.
desperate.
Like,
Our writers, who are the writers on this? Anna and Ryan. Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck.
oh gosh, I knew you were going to mention the fact that the Captain
Yeah.
Marvel was brought in.
So they were co-directors and co-writers for Captain Marvel, which to me is where Marvel decided to take a deep dive into bankruptcy. So, whatever.
I've talked enough, so I think that's my third.
That was a long third. Good
Yeah, that was
Good
the
job.
yeah.
Proud of you.
I know it was 3, but man, guys, come on. There's better than this. All right, Don, what are your 3s? Because you watched it so many times.
I watched it twice. So let's start out with number 1, which is going to be this one's going to be a tangent, and who knows if they'll
I used
get
up my
on
time. Go ahead.
us. Nazis, all the way through this, every single chapter, over and over. White supremacist. What was the other one? Nazi, white supremacist, skinhead.
Yeah.
The whole Nazi thing, you fools, Anna and Ryan, have never seen a single Nazi in your life. You have no idea who they are. They don't exist like the boogeyman, but you seem to be obsessed with it. This movie was so obsessed with everything being blamed on this group of people. Everybody else is these nice, wholesome people that just want to live their lives the way they want to live it, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, no, this is written like a 13-year-old would write. No idea of reality. And I'm going to say it. The only idea you have about Nazis is from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, because that's all that was there in 1987. I think by that time the second one had already come out, but it wasn't Nazis. It was Temple of Doom. So this whole bullshit that you keep bringing up over and over and try and stuff into this movie was just over the top, all the way to the very, very end. It starts out at the beginning that way and it ends that way. Number two, the very first chapter, which is strength in numbers. So evidently, this is the strength in numbers was actually Gilman Street, which was a punk rock club back in 1987 or whatever. But it was in Berkeley, I believe, not Oakland, like the movie takes place. But they took it, and supposedly this whole fight, because there's skinheads that are fighting the 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 virtuous
It's-
punk rockers, and they all look like they're low 90 pounds. They're disabled. They're multicultural. They're diverse. The skinheads, they're all buff and very German looking.
mm,
So somehow, strength in numbers, they're able to get together not only with their weapons that they spend an afternoon creating, but also the glow, and beat the crap, literally cutting open skinheads and until they're like running like dogs with their tails between their legs.
mm.
Unbelievably stupid. One of the dumbest freaking things I've seen in a movie ever. Every single one of the virtuous punk rock kids. I was in 1987. That's not the way punk rock was. Not even freaking close. Matter of fact, we didn't have. I mean, sure, there was that kind of people listening to music, but they weren't here. They weren't in Berkeley or Oakland like this. Bullshit. And actually, I went back to my number one. But those kids were so freaking weak and so pathetic. There's no way they could. So, I mean, just the whole thing. I know it's a fantasy movie, but give me a break, and it's just horrible writing, horrible writing. And my number three would be, yeah, no, Sleepy Joe's the bride Kill Bill moment at the end. Literally, the whole thing was him going to his trance, going to the house, because somehow he magically knows where the people that shot his mother and killed his girlfriend live.
Well, they told them. I thought they told them on the phone.
Who?
The two kids.
What two kids?
The two from the beginning. They were on the phone calling Sleepy Joe, letting them know,
How
hey,
did they know?
because they overheard Pedro Pascal talking to someone in the diner. Because remember,
But they never had that conversation. They never had a conversation about going there and getting the only conversation. I watched it twice. The only conversation they had was they got one more job for him.
Okay. That's how they were supposed to know. They had overheard Pedro Pascal talking about that situation, and that's how they knew, and they called Sleepy Joe to give him the information, which is how he knew where they were.
Not only that, but they were establishing that they were going through the white supremacists, also, home invaders, were going through different people and had not picked one at that time. So when did that happen? Bad writing. Number three.
That was it.
Bad freaking writing. Stupid. You guys, did you even have someone? Were you just patting yourself on the back, Anna and Ryan, the entire time you're making this slop? Because this was just asinine. It was boring. Acting was poor. And I will say, I give it one props. It is an independent film, and we need more films that are independent. But we don't need some kind of preachy little nonsense that's written by a 13-year-old girl for an hour starring Pedro Pascal, who's not even in it. He just shuffles through. Oh, and Tom Hanks is in it, and he can suck my balls. So, whatever, for like a fraction of a second. And I'm done. That's my three.
I mean, I don't want to give this movie anymore because there's nothing, to say.
You didn't watch the reviews, though.
No, I don't need to watch reviews.
Oh my God, it was the reviews for this were so beautiful.
So, another thing that needs to be known, and if you guys make something else, please approach it differently. 4 really, really bad stories. Okay, I'll be gracious. 3 out of 4 really, really, really bad stories interconnected doesn't make a good story or a thrilling structure. Or
I just realized we didn't even talk about the rap battle. We talked about
there's
but we left the rap battle out because there's nothing there.
There's so many things that are just so boring. And then you you could have made any of these 4. This is how you know it's so shallow, because you could took any of these 4 things and wrote a I'm sure AI could write a competent baseline story about punk rock kids getting harassed by X group, doesn't have to know, I have to say who, and them to coming to defend themselves.
Yes.
Pedro Pascal trying to get his last day out of being a hired gun or assassin. There's 1,000 movies on that. So, okay, cool. Outside the fact that there's the child of Kill Bill, the child, because that's what we all keep thinking in the next Kill Bill, right? Vivica Fox's daughter is going to grow up and kind of after her, right?
I hope so.
So that's kind of what we saw, a kid of a past, person he killed coming back with very, very, very weak, Jean Grey 90s cartoon telepathy stuff. They're just staring at him in the old school blockbuster.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
It's why is he staring at you? Guys, come on. But that could have been a decent, these could have been really short films done 1,000 times better if they cared about
their
any
egos wouldn't allow that. They wanted to make sure that they hammered in this message that they were trying to pass of diversity versus fascists. That was the other word I was trying to remember, fascist, because that was thrown around in 1987. No one said the word fascist unless it was in history class. You potatoes. The writers, not our audience. We love our audience. But, anyway, where was I going? The fascists threw me off.
Yes.
But I mean, this movie is hard to do. I don't know why you would make it other than your ego trip that you're trying to pass that message on.
Yeah. Also, I mean, what are we trying to say here? If the baseline idea of this movie was, hey, Nazis are bad, okay? Fight Nazis, okay? I think we all kind of know that by default, right? Like, I understand you can talk about whatever's going on in the world, but I mean, I feel like as a general idea, to make a movie that says that and have it be this meh and so that, I mean, this is unnecessary. This isn't telling anyone anything they need to know. It's not explaining how we got here
It
or
could have just been the
the
corrupt
culture.
cop.
It could have
It
been
didn't have to be, because his son was the head of the skinhead gang.
Yeah.
And then his fascists were, I didn't even know what the word fascist was in here though, but it was, whatever. Uh, uh, yeah, that would have been a better movie. Just taking all that fluff out.
Yeah.
I mean, it really would have been.
Yeah. Even Sleepy
Not
Joe.
that good of a movie though.
Yeah, even Sleepy Joe. The reason he left was because he went on a crazy murdering tirade and needed to run away. And they could have told his rise, how, it was tough being a black man and blah, blah, blah. But he really elevated his skills like the Michael Jordan of his time. Like,
Nope,
there's
none of that.
there's nothing.
Nope. He finds out that his family got murdered, and the next thing you do, he's doing meditation with a bunch of weapons in front of him, and then killing Nazis.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Cool. I mean, this had like the level of like a Captain Planet episode. Like it was really that. And one of my creative ideas is I want to completely redo Captain America. I want to make it ridiculous. But yeah, it was just Saturday morning cartoon drivel, but without even a decent message. 'Cause at least Captain America is like, don't litter. This is like,
You mean Captain Planet?
Captain Planet, yeah. Captain America, yeah. Sorry, yeah. But Captain Planet, yeah, at least that's like don't litter and stuff. And this is
We
just
haven't gotten a Captain Planet movie yet. You figure we would have had one by now.
yeah, don't mess it up though.
Oh, of course they will.
Don't mess it up.
Of course, as soon as someone comes on there and says heart, people will be just laughing nonstop. Wind, fire, thunder, hearts.
I could write that because I want to write that and I want to do the one cleanse.
I'm surprised they haven't shown up in one movie yet.
It'd be so easy to do. Super comedic, like coming of age. They're both like this should have been more comedy. It should have been more over the top. Way more people should have had powers. Like every altercation should have been like this kind of goofy.
Well, they shouldn't have had powers at all. I mean,
they shouldn't have had powers at all.
What was the part? Oh yeah, the rap battle at the end. They get on the bus. Did you remember? The bus gets the green glow and goes off into the clouds.
I don't remember.
Flies around. Why? because it's an independent film and it looks cool. It made no sense.
Mm-mm. It's just
Well,
someone said,
just
"I like him."
eliminate the green glow.
Yeah. Well, so they thought it'd be cool if there was some sort of power dynamic, and without it, which is funny because technically Sleepy could have physically went and did that. Why it had to be astral projection powers makes it like worse because it's like
It
easier. I
was
don't know.
weird that they did that because when I on the second viewing, I mean, my brain is pudding at this moment. On the second viewing, he gets ready with his weapons and he puts on his kung fu outfit, and it appears that he leaves. But then at the end of the battle, when he's facing the big bad white supremacist cop,
Mm.
he's back in his room in meditation,
Yeah,
but his other self is there blowing up the cop's brain.
yeah, he's
It's
that
like,
powerful.
but again, that just goes back to how poorly written this was.
Mhm.
Because it's why would you do that? Give me one or the other, or I mean, was it astral projection? Was he there? I
Yeah.
don't get it. I mean,
Yes.
he didn't go out the front door then, so I think that's an astral projection because I watched because somehow
The sorcerer
Pedro
sleep.
Pascal is at the house because they picked him up along with his baby because
Mm.
we didn't even talk about the vignettes. So Pedro Pascal is a thug. He's doing his last job. His pregnant wife's waiting in the car. She gets shot, dies, but the baby lives. So he goes, picks it up. So the bad cop who won't let Pedro go decides he's going to kill Pedro, but he's got the baby. But after it's all over with, he just walks out with the baby and he goes, you know, your father messed with the wrong warrior, and then walks out. I was like,
Yeah.
wait,
In reference
why?
to
Why wouldn't you assume Pedro Pascal, who's holding an axe at this time, might have killed some people there and stuff?
no, no,
Oh
that the
gosh.
skin that was because it was the whole like this all happened and like in the same night. So there's like interconnecting parts. So the skinheads were just returning from getting their asses
I
handed.
know all of it takes place in the same night.
Yeah.
There actually day.
I think it's like a day/night, and that's it. 24 hours, it feels like. But yeah, there was just no reason to kind of why couldn't Sleepy physically go there and do all that stuff? That'd been cool. That would have been fine. You could just gave him like green energy powers. That would have been low budget. He could have sliced up some guys with that. At least he would
He
have
could
been
get the
there.
green glow in the pupils of his eyes. It won't
Yeah.
get turned to fight.
Yeah, and so did the other guy, looking like he was constipated, trying to blow up Pedro. Oh, that's why he's
That was
trying to blow
so
him up.
funny. When Pedro's in the video store with you know, and the guy because Pedro had killed his father 7 years earlier. This kid's father 7 years earlier. So this kid wants revenge. Now he's an adult, and he's standing in the video store, behind Pedro, about 10 feet away, and he's looking at Pedro, and he's going like this. And you're like, act. What is that? Do you remember that? It was so bad. Yeah, I was more exaggerated than that. I watched it twice. It was
He was
his,
more
his lip was twitching and his eyes was like you're like, what
mm,
is this? What gosh. Yeah. Can we end this? Can we end
yeah.
this? Is this
Also,
over with?
my last point.
Oh, we got another point.
I've never watched a movie based in the 80s that made the 80s uncool.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I would not want to be in this era of time, like, it's just
No,
it wasn't neat.
their version of this time.
Like,
This is not.
there's usually good music or good tracks or something that, like, draws everyone back to this time where it's cool, like Stranger Things did that, and, this did nothing. It was just like someone thought, this is a lot of cool stuff," and then they threw it in, like, a th combiner and it wrote this
Well, they
crap.
said, "Hey, let's base a thing something around, Sleepy Joe." And, the Ryan, he grew up in this area. But when they say that, he grew up and that was his influence, he was like 10 years old. In 1987, he was 10 years old. So he would not have been to the punk clubs
Mm.
or out and about or anything else. He might have gone to the game.
Or even knew the stories of
Yeah.
family members, since you can do that.
How is this is not the fabric of his existence. at 10.
If this is what it takes to get a movie made, hey, I was 4 in the timing of this movie.
Oh, so you know all about
Yeah, I would know all about
Here,
this. So I actually feel
lot
being
a
young,
lot of Nazis run around when you were 4 years old, huh?
I knew that. I could see them from the crib.
Well, yeah, because your parents had Raiders of the Lost Ark playing in the background. Like, that Indy, he's something.
Oh my gosh. It would have made more sense if the kids said something in relation to that, like they have watched it.
It would.
Yeah, and then it's
would've.
like, fight them like Indiana. I'm like, oh, at least we
That
know
would have
Indiana
been funny.
Jones.
Yeah.
It's just, come on, guys. Like, these people could have barely probably wrote a single solitary competent story over 4 really, really big craps.
I don't think they have it in 'em to write anything good. I absolutely, I mean, they went from, a billion-dollar franchise with Captain Marvel to this, and I read the backstory that they're getting back to their roots. And I'm like, "No, you're not.
Oh,
You get
no.
you
I hope this isn't that.
you spearheaded the downfall of Marvel, so nobody really wants to give you another chance like that." At least that's my thought behind it, why they're making this schlop, because there wasn't any talent there. They were hired because of who they were, such as their genitals or whatever it was, not because of their skill. And just like this whole movie portrayed, it wasn't anything about anyone's skill. It was about their skin color, about their, just all that stuff. It was all nonsense. So can we rate it and get out of here?
1.
Oh, I'll give it easily 0.5. Half.
Oh, we can do that.
Half. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I
0.1.
can't give it 0 because 0 should be a special place in hell.
0.1. If we can do that, if that's a part, if
No,
that's
0.5.
officially a part,
0.5. Like a half
point
point.
0.5.
0.5.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't know why we just don't go to a 10-point system.
we should. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would give it less than 1.
Not recommended, guys. Look, if you enjoy it, and
Good for you.
there are a lot of cartoons out there, I'm sure, that just really, really do it great for you. And I'm sorry if that's an insult, but guys, when we enjoy things, when we like things, we should be able to kind of piece them out and understand the nuances of why. And if you want to like shallow, vapid crap, that's why we have reality TV. It's a thing. But like, don't sit here and tell me it's a great movie because you enjoyed it. Just say you enjoyed it and it was shit. I can do that with stuff. There's certain things I like watching that I know is crap. I can say I like it. I'm not gonna tell anyone that, it's a new masterpiece.
No. Well, I might.
You would. I would.
It's Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death, masterpiece.
Look forward to that. But we gave our scores. Please.
Well, I hadn't watched FDR American Badass. I thought you might not like that one, but yeah.
No,
Anyway,
I thought the Millennium was cool. We had scary movie. We understand a little bit of that stuff.
this movie can burn in hell,
Yes.
and I will never again watch this. And please, Pedro, stop. That's it. All right.
Yes.
We're
probably going to talk
All right,
more about
we're-
how much we can't.
We're
stand
split
movies.
screen, and this is Tony and Don, and I hope you enjoy our show. And remember, these are our opinions, spoiler heavy, and we're sorry if you don't like it.
No, we're
I'm gonna
not.
stop. No, because everybody has it. I should be allowed to have my opinion.
Yeah.
like Tony should.
And we should be able to discuss it because that way we can maybe, since we all want better than
Might
this,
change
I
my
hope.
mind.
Yeah. Or just if we all want better than this, we all should be able to come to terms about the shortcomings of this film, even if we enjoy
What
it.
if we're wrong?
No. So thanks, guys. This is Switch.
We're out of here.
Go.
Oh my god, I can't believe you didn't watch it twice.
Absolutely not.
This is something.
You're
I gotta bring it up.
masochist.
There's like this absurd scroll text at the beginning, which is basically setting up everything. And
Nothing.
I forget the narrator. He's actually somebody as well. I can't remember, but he was somebody, which was so poorly done. Did you stick around to the music video at the end?
I think I did, unfortunately. Was it after the credits? I watched it until the credits rolled.
And
Okay.
it looked like living color. When they
I
did.
did love it, Living Color.
This looked like a very, very cheap version. It looked like the solid gold of Living Color. I
Uh,
don't know if you remember Solid Gold. It was very cheesy 80s. You'd have a lot of people and they would have big hair.
okay. I
We
think I
gotta
saw it.
bring up. I know you've seen clips because it's Often
I used
made
to watch
fun
Living
of.
Color like crazy. Oh, and Solid Gold, the TV show, the real one. Yeah.
Yeah, Solid Gold.
Yeah, I watched it.
They would just dance.
Yeah. What was the other one that wasn't Solid Gold? Soul Train.
Soul Train.
I remember
Yeah,
both of those.
I remember in the 70s,
Yeah.
we didn't have a lot of TV stations. We lived out in the middle of nowhere, you know, in not Connersville, Indiana. We lived on a dirt road. So you'd only have like 3 channels max. And Soul Train was on every weekend. It seemed like it was on all day.
Yeah.
And we would watch it. And I don't even know why we would watch it. I must have been like 3 or 4 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on, so
Yeah.
we did, you know.
I watched a ton of that type of stuff because of my parents. You know, they had good taste in music. I think good taste in most.
You know, all that's better in this movie.
Yeah.
You know.
And we'll remain
Even
that
so,
way.
I would go back and watch a whole season of Solid Gold from the 80s before I'd ever want to watch this again.
Yeah. There'd be more character in just the way people danced more than anything in this freaking thing.
But the whole punk thing was, oh my God.
Mm.
I was there. It was not like that. Did he not have little...
Hey, he was 10. He knows a lot more about this
There's-
than you.
there's-
And he was in Oakland.
So many bad points about the dream. You know, what's your dream?
Flying, man.
Yeah.
Just flying. Only you do.
Anyway,
If you could do
let's get
anything
out of here.
you wanted,
Fucking...
think about that. If you could do anything you wanted right now, what would you do? Hump your face. His one primary thought was to hump her face.
Stop. Oh my God.
And that's how great this movie is. It's really, really respectful.
All right. Hey, out of here.